Unit 11, Family.
Hi everyone! Nice to see you again. In the last lesson, you learned how to talk about your number of family members. In this lesson, you'll learn in more detail how to ask and answer about the age and job of a family member.
How old is your father? How old is your mother?
In Unit 6, you learned how to ask someone their age with the question, how old? What about the age of someone's family members? To ask this, you can say, how old is your, and then the third person. The third person here can be mother, father, brother, or sister. So, if you want to know the age of someone's father, you can ask, how old is your father? How old? Pay attention to the ending sound old of the word old. Old, 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 old. How old is your, your father, father. Please pay special attention to the sound th. Father, father. How old is your father? Similarly, to ask about the age of someone's mother, you say, how old is your mother? How old is your mother? Mother. Mother. Notice the sound th. Mother. How old is your mother? When speaking faster, to sound more natural, you should link the final sound d of old to the beginning vowel sound I of is. Old is. How old is? How old is your father? How old is your mother? Also, please note that in these questions, the key words are how old and the noun father or mother. And you should use a falling tone. Listen to me. How old is your father? How old is your mother? Now, please repeat after me. How old is your father?
How old is your father?
And the next one. How old is your mother?
How old is your mother?
Very nice. He's 55 years old. She's 50 years old. The answer to this question can be he's or she's plus the age and years old. Remember that we use he when the question is about someone's father or brother. We use she if it's about one's mother or sister. And the age here is a number. You can refer to numbers below this video. For example,
How old is your father?
he's 55 years old. He's. E, z. He's. 50. 50. 50. 5. I-v. 5. Years old. Remember to link the sounds between the words years and old to sound more natural. Years old. Years old. He's 55 years old. He's 55 years old. Let's look at another example.
How old is your mother?
She's 50 years old. She's. Sh, e, z. She's 50 years old. She's 50 years old. She's 50 years old. Note that you can use the full forms he is and she is instead of he's and she's. You can say, he is 55 years old. She is 51 years old. But the short forms are more common in spoken English. What does he do? What does she do? After asking about the age of family members, another common question may be about the job. A question that can be used is, what does he do? Or, what does she do? What does he do? What? What? Does. D-a-z. Does. He. E. He. Do. Do. What does he do? What does he do? And what does she do? What? Does. She. Sh. E. She. Pay attention to the sound sh. Round your mouth a bit. Sh. She. She. Do. What does she do? What does she do? What and do are the key words in this question. So, they should be emphasized, and your voice should go down at the end. What does he do? What does she do? Now, please repeat after me. What does he do?
What does he do?
Fabulous. And what does she do?
What does she do?
Very good. You know, what do you do is similar to what's your job. Then note that what does he do is equivalent to what's his job. His. Z. His. What's his job? That's right. And what does she do is like What's her job? Her. Her. What's her job? Exactly. He's a director. She's an officer.
What does he do?
The answer to this question is quite easy. He's a or an and the job title. For example, he's a director.
Director.
Director. He's a director. He's a worker. 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 He's a worker. Or, he's an architect. Rkɪtekt. Architect. He's an architect. You can change the job title to have a proper answer. Similarly, to answer the question, what does she do? You just say, he's. Oh no, the answer must be she's. A or an plus the job title. For example, she's a lawyer. 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 She's a lawyer. She's a farmer.
Farmer. Farmer.
She's a farmer. Or, she's an officer. 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 She's an officer. Please note that when you speak faster, to sound more natural, you should use linking sounds. For example, he's a doctor. He's an architect. She's a lawyer. She's an officer. Ling, how old is your father?
He's 56 years old.
And what does he do?
He's a lawyer.
How about your mother? How old is your mother?
She's 52 years old.
And what does she do?
She's an architect. Brian, how old is your father?
He's 60 years old.
What does he do?
He's an officer.
And your mother, how old is your mother?
She's 52 years old.
What does she do?
She's a worker.
Okay, you've learned questions and answers about the age and the job of someone's family members. Let's go over the main contents of this lesson. To ask about the age of someone's family member, you say, how old is your father? Or, how old is your mother? To answer the question, you say, he's or she's, plus the age, and years old. To ask about the job of that person, you say, what does he do? Or, what does she do? And the answer can be he's or she's, a or an, and the job title. So, I hope this lesson is useful for you. To have some more practice, please watch the next video.
Unit 11, Family.
So, in the lesson video, you learned the questions and answers about the age and job of someone's family members. Now, let's have a little practice with our friends and try to say them correctly. Hi, how old is your father?
He's 50 years old.
What does he do?
He's a lawyer. How old is your father?
He's 60 years old.
What does he do?
He's a doctor. So, Mai knows the way to tell the age and job of her father. However, there are some points which she can improve. Let's look again. Hi, how old is your father?
He's 50 years old.
What does he do?
He's a lawyer. How old is your father?
He's 60 years old.
What does he do?
Firstly, she missed the ending sound z in years, he's, and does. Z. He's. He's. He's a lawyer. He's a lawyer. Z. Years. Years old. Years old. He's 50 years old. He's 50 years old. Z. Does. Does. What does he do? What does he do? Next, Mai mispronounced the word lawyer. She missed the y sound in the middle and said lawyer. It should be lawyer. Many students often make the same mistake with this word. Now, listen to me. Y. Y. Lawyer. Notice the y sound in the middle. Lawyer. 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 Yeah, right. Also, it'll sound more natural if Mai says her questions with a falling tone, like this. How old is your father? How old is your father? How old is your father? And what does he do? What does he do? What does he do? That's right. Now, let's return to Mai and help her say the sentences properly. Great, Mai. There are just a few things I think we can work on to really improve your speech. The first thing is the z sound. Z, z, z. Great. Like he's.
He's
a lawyer.
He's a lawyer.
He's a lawyer.
He's a lawyer.
All right. Years.
Yes.
Years.
Yes.
He's 50 years old.
He's 50 years old.
He's 50 years old.
He's 50 years old.
Yeah. And does.
Does.
What does he do?
What does he do?
What does he do?
What does he do?
Yeah. And the next thing is the y sound. Y.
Yeah.
Y.
Yeah.
Lawyer.
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 And then the sentences. Some of your questions had a flat tone, but let's give it a falling tone. Like, how old is your father?
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 Yeah, and what does he do?
What does he do?
What does he do?
What does he do?
All right.
Susanna, how old is your mother?
She's 58 years old.
What does she do?
She's a teacher. How old is your mother?
She is 39 years old.
What does she do?
She is an architect.
All right. Hui has tried his best. However, he can do better than that. Can you tell what he can do to improve?
Susanna, how old is your mother?
She's 58 years old.
What does she do?
She's a teacher. How old is your mother?
She is 39 years old.
What does she do?
She is an architect.
Firstly, he missed the ending sound old of old. Ul. D. Altogether, it's old. 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 How old is your mother? When you speak faster, remember to link the d sound of old to the beginning I sound of is. Old is. How old is your mother? How old is your mother? That's it. Next, he mispronounced some difficult sounds. One of them is the sound sh in she. It's not s, not see, which makes me think of some other words like see or see. It should be sh. Sh. Round your mouth a bit. Sh. She. 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 That's right. Also, he needs to practice more with the difficult sound in 30. Put your tongue tip between your teeth. 30. Yeah, right. Finally, he should use un before a job which begins with a vowel. We don't say a architect. It should be an architect. When speaking faster, you should link she's to un to sound more natural. She's un. She's un. She's an architect. She's an architect. Now, let's go back to Hui and help him speak more naturally and properly. Great. Okay, I think there are a few things we can work on to really improve your speech. The first thing is, I didn't hear the sound old in the word old. Let's work on that. D.
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 Old.
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 Perfect. How old is your mother?
How old is your mother?
And with the linking sound, how old is your mother?
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 Great. All right. The next thing is, I didn't hear you pronounce the sh sound correctly. Sh.
Sh.
Sh. Sh. She.
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 Great. And then you also mispronounced the sound in 30. Let's work on that. 30.
30.
30.
30.
Excellent. The last thing is, when we have a job that starts with a vowel, we need to say un. So it's not a architect, it's an architect.
An architect.
An architect.
An architect.
Yes. She's an architect.
She an architect.
She's An architect.
She's an architect.
She's an architect.
She's an architect.
Yes. So your friends now can ask and answer about the age and job of one's parents. Let's have a little practice together. First, I will ask and you will answer. Okay? Let's start. Hello. What's your name? How many members are there in your family? How old is your father? What does he do? How old is your mother? What does she do? Now, you will ask and then I will answer. Here we go. First, please ask about my father's age. He's 60 years old. Now, please ask about my father's job. He's a doctor. Next, please ask about my mother's age. She's 58 years old. Finally, please ask about my mother's job. She's a teacher. Well done. So, that's the end of our practice today. Let's take a look at some following notes from this lesson. Thanks for joining us in this video. See you in the next one. Goodbye.